Guntur best minds, Guntur Medical College students and their proud parents. Welcome, congratulations to all of you. As you all know, all three people are immensely happy today. One, the graduating students. Second, your family and parents. And most important, the other one, your Guntur Medical College teachers. We all know that you have sacrificed quite a bit as a medical student, sleepless nights, missed festivals, and relentless discipline to get to where you are. And obviously your family has spent not only money, but have a lot of hope on you. And your professors invested whatever they have learned over the career, their knowledge, their time, and they have some expectations on you. So with all these three contributions, you are here today to carry forward one of the most respected professions in human civilization. As you all know, medicine is not just a career. It is a social contract with humanity. Please never ever forget that. And when you started as a student, obviously you have memorized anatomy diagrams, biochemistry algorithms, all of this. And now you're getting into actually becoming a doctor, which is holding the hands of a frightened patient, making diagnosis in stressful situations, working through solutions in a resource-constrained society. This is when the real talent of the doctor would come out. And if you look at it in entire India, today more than 1 lakh doctors are coming out. Just in Andhra Pradesh alone, I think several thousand doctors are coming out. And there are couple thousand post-graduation seats. And if you count in any area you go, and you ask your people if you have a medical problem, you ask who is the best doctor, they usually tell only 4 or 5 names. They don't tell all the people names, right? I mean, this is what I have gone through when I was in medical student and in the society. And I will give you one example in Tenali, in my hometown. There is a doctor called Dakshinamurthy. You know, this is the only name I hear every time. And the reason why they say is, he treats anybody with whatever they give, and he treats humanly. No one ever will talk about your rank, how much, how great your hospital is. Those all may be valuable, but that's not what the society respects. So this fundamental concept, why you exist as a doctor and what you want to achieve at the end of your life, is something only you should know. And for anybody to be successful, in my view at least, you need professional reputation, and you absolutely need financial health as well. And most importantly, you need personal happiness. How many of actual doctors can achieve all these three is the key here. And people who understand from today graduating will have the most successful career. I'll give you the framework, because many of you today are just graduating from MBBS. Some of you will go to post-graduation, maybe USMLE to United States, or UK, Australia, Gulf, wherever you can go. That's one set of people want to live here. Second, some of you might go into civil services. Some of you will just start private practice. And few may become, they might surprise us being entrepreneurs, tech founders, and maybe even politicians like me. But wherever you go, I may not have an opportunity to talk because your real career probably starts once you step into those after the post-graduation and everything. So this will help you if you can remember some of the things that I tell you. It will definitely help you in achieving at least in what I told you all three. So the number one principle is the life is beyond textbooks. What separates from good to great is the human skills. So what does that mean? As everyone has said, understanding the person in front of you. Because the doctors who understand that they are not treating diseases, that they are treating patients, human beings. If you know the difference between the two, you solve a lot of the problems. And you look at across the world, this is not related to Andhra Pradesh or anywhere. Across the world, there are multiple studies that showed what separates the great people are two things. One is empathy, second is communication skills. Not how many research papers they publish, not how much rank that they have achieved in the medical school or post-graduation. So remember that empathy and communication, this has shown across the world. And the other testament, here I am not sure how many lawsuits you have, but if any of you are going abroad, lawsuits are very common. And lawsuits will destroy physician career. Even there, people who have shown exceptional empathy and communication skills, who admitted their errors, will have much lower lawsuit rate than the people who are the most knowledgeable but doesn't have the empathy and communication skills. So you really have to master these two fundamental things. And the second, whether you are in post-graduation, whether you start your own clinic, or whether you work in a corporate hospital, how you treat your staff is another most important thing. Your nurses, your ward boys, your receptionists, lab technicians, pharmacists, housekeeping staff, because they spend more time with any patient than any one of you can spend with your patient. Always remember, your reputation carry on their tongue. Because how you treat, if you treat them like your family members, what does it mean? Knowing their name, knowing their family members, knowing their financial and well-being, treating them fairly when it comes to compensation. When you take care of those people, they will ensure you are successful. If you miss that, it doesn't matter what you talk to your patient, what you do to your patient, they will destroy your reputation. So know this fundamental aspect. And then if any of your staff, everybody does mistakes. If any of your staff member does a mistake, never yell it in front of your patients or in public. Talk to them privately. Celebrate their birthdays. Very important. These things don't cost you, even if you don't pay exceptional salary. But how you made them feel as a boss, as a co-worker, will make them remember and they will stay with you. So remember these things. And in general, any leader in this world has never risen to higher level by being a solo person. It is always about the team building activity. So that's one thing. And third, working with your co-workers. Co-workers means your colleagues, other neighboring doctors in your society, anybody whom you feel equivalent. Most of the time, the ego, the clashes, the superiority comes when you have an equivalent people. What does that mean? In general, I have seen many physicians, they try to put their colleagues down just to inflate their ego. Never ever do that. However, the other person competitive, every doctor, every human being has their inherent talent. They might be more knowledgeable, they might look better, they may have born with better resources, but never ever feel jealous. Do not get into the negative mindset. Go in a positive mindset, appreciate them, work with them, because again they are your colleagues, your referrals, your reputation also carries deeply. So please understand that this universe, there are so many people that are better than us. When the minute you accept that reality, it will give you a mental peace. And what you have to learn is why those people are so successful. Learn those best qualities. Team up with those people rather than going into a negative mindset and doing some bad mouthing about them. So please take care of that. Building good working with good relationship. And then how you build your professional reputation once you go. This is another thing that you guys have to understand. Building reputation doesn't happen in a month or even in a year or two. There is a consistent process. It takes years of mastery. That means you have to be consistently good at doing the right thing and behaving in a right way consistently over a period of time. Because first 6 months, 3 months, they might write off. But the word to spread and to build the trust, it takes years. And if doing 1 or 2 bad things will spoil that whole thing quickly. So how you can build it is, patience is what is needed. Whether it is, whether I am a doctor or a politician, even for a politician, it doesn't happen just in a month or something. You have to do it 3, 4, 5 years consistently, whether you are honest, all that stuff. And then, that is one aspect. Second, building reputation means there are so many doctors that are coming out, right? There are a lot of nephrologists, a lot of neurologists. But why? That is a graduation degree that the government has given to you. But how you are different from other nephrologists or other neurologists? This is something only you can build it. This is not something no educational institute or someone else will teach you. How would you do that? What you have to do is, you have to become an expert in one particular area. Because any topic you take, any subspecialty, there is still so much in medicine that we don't know. You pick up one topic and go deep into that. You subscribe to the articles that are published on that topic. You learn everything about that topic. You become an expert in that area. You go and you give lectures on that topic. The minute you start trying to teach somebody, you will try to understand it deeply and you will go from there. So finding a niche area and becoming an expert, going to international conferences. So this is something, unless you have your own initiation, you will not be able to mark by yourself. So that's something you have to understand. And then, these days, luckily, you have YouTube and all that stuff, right? It's even more easier if you have a content mastery, if you can practice in mirror how to speak. Everything comes with the practice. Your brain has a lot of neuroplasticity. Whatever you do repeatedly, you will be good at it. So go be yourself on YouTube, Instagram. And sometimes you may not have people to listen, but there are a lot of nurses, a lot of paramedics, a lot of district hospitals. You can go there, you can educate them. Even if 2, 3 people are there, you start teaching them, and then you will start getting the authority. Once you start getting this authority, the momentum, this nature will observe you and will give you opportunities that you have never imagined. Okay, so do that kind of stuff. Teach and give lectures. And then publish research. This is another way. Again, publishing research does not require large research labs, lot of funding. You don't need all of that. All you have to do is identify the interesting cases. Build case series. For example, if you are in this area, we have recently death of melioidosis. It's a large number of cases. One infectious disease doctor can take and publish these good large melioidosis case series. That itself, in 2025, how is melioidosis evolving? You can build your own reputation like that, right? And then simple observational studies based on when you are practicing every day what you are observing, a repeated problem. And then, every year there are hundreds of new drugs coming. How are those drugs? Because when you go into these medications, when they get FDA or anybody approves these medications, they come with a short list of side effects. But only in the post clinical trial, when it comes to public, then you start uncovering a lot of associations. So paying close attention to some of those areas will give you depth and expertise. So coming up with those kind of observational studies, obviously you can collaborate with some of the local biostatisticians to publish, but that's not a big thing. So these are the things that will give you academic credibility. It will give invitations for you to speak, and often better job opportunities in that area. And the other important, so this is all what I told you, how you create yourself unique identity in the society that the books and universities, medical colleges don't teach you. Second thing that they don't teach you in medical colleges, and for some reason, I was able to figure out very quickly, is the financial health of the physicians. Ideally, there should be a curriculum in all medical schools and post-graduations about this, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist. What happens is typical life cycle, how physicians become slaves of their own success. What happens is, now all of a sudden, most of the people, engineering students and other, their career start at 20 to 23. Yours start much later, maybe 30, 33, depending on how far you want to go in education. Some of you may be wealthy, it is okay, but people who have come from middle class background or poor background, they are hungry for large house, large cars, and this materialistic lifestyle, designer dressing, whatever that is. And people end up taking a lot of loans. The EMIs will start coming in because there is a peer pressure, there is a comparativeness. Please try to avoid that. What happens is then you get these EMIs. This is when your moral character will start getting obliterated slowly. Because you have no choice. Everybody is putting this pressure. Then you start doing all the things that we see, writing excessive tests, giving cuts for the referrals, doing unnecessary cesareans, or whatever that thing. I'm not saying everybody, but people who end up being on the wrong side, this is how they will get it. I mean, you might be surprised, even in America, United States, despite physicians getting 250, 300K salaries, I have seen numerous unethical practices. And what you have to understand, they all eventually will get caught. Or people, your patients will figure it out. Earlier days, it was a little bit subtle, but with now social media and other stuff, both good and bad travel much faster, much deeper, and much wider. All you need is 24 hours to ruin your entire career. Okay, so how can you really, but I am not saying that you shouldn't make money, okay, please don't misunderstand. Everybody needs money, everybody needs to be happy, because all of these years you worked so hard to have that little bit of luxury. There is nothing wrong with that. But how you get into that luxury is the difference. What you have to do is, in addition to being a medical doctor, you have to learn how to be financially wealthy. What does that mean? You take a little bit of, India, anywhere you go, society grows. Most people who are rich are the people who invested in stock markets, who invested in real estate, those kind of stuff. So you are so smart, it doesn't take much time for you to learn about finance, how to make money. All you need is you have to think, oh, I have to take my time every week, go to classes. Entire financial education is available on YouTube. You don't even have to go to anywhere. If you don't know anything, you invest in index funds. Understand, if you don't know what index funds, what mutual fund, learn them. I learned everything by myself. And then I started investing. If you do that, you're automatically increasing the revenue. And second, money follows if you do the good things. And many of you know I founded UWorld, right? I did not make UWorld just to make money, for your information. The only reason it became so successful, because when I studied in my medical school, they didn't teach me well, the medicine. I didn't understand. But later, finally, I understood. I thought I could explain to the doctors much better. Worst case scenario, it helps me to learn medicine much deeper. This is the only idea. Not to make a business, not to make money. But you see how it traveled. The same thing here, but if you are genuinely building what I told you, your clinic, your co-workers, your colleagues, you are differentiating by yourself, and you are becoming knowledgeable on certain areas, automatically patients will flock you, money will come to you, and you take that money and you invest effectively, and this is how you will become both financially happy and morally also happy. And first few years after the medicine, try to live below your means. You don't have to compare. As I said, please try to avoid comparison, avoid lifestyle inflation, take insurance. Your lifetime, there are certain insurances you really have to take, and if you start paying from little bit, by the time you become 50, 60, that will grow much higher. The other thing is, don't fall for traps. In the society, everybody knows doctors have a lot of money. Many people will be coming for you to give you unreasonable returns. Anything it's too good to be true is too good to be true. Know that. Okay? So just because somebody gives you, they will trap you, all this stuff, don't fall for it. Don't give guarantees. Analyze yourself. Is this even possible? Talk to 5 other people. You have seen, right? Most sophisticated people, recently, unfortunately, that CBI director, his own wife was able to fall for these financial scams. And you are the most vulnerable people. People who have money are the most vulnerable people. So know that it's not easy to make money, it takes time. So financial freedom is not greed, it is a shield that protects your moral character. So make sure you are financially healthy and wealthy. And the next one, obviously physical and mental well-being. So the thing is, we treat diseases of the heart, but we neglect our own, right? We teach everybody exercise is the solution for a lot of diseases, but then we sit for 12 to 14 hours for reading, seeing patients, right? And we tell people to manage stress management as an important thing, but at the same time, we are also succumb to stress. And you look at general population, compared to the general population, physicians, healthcare professionals have twice the risk of depression. A lot of people may not tell you, you are just still young, you may not know, but as your careers go, the depression rate is very high. This is not something I can tell you. No one can give an excuse. None of you, I think, are more busier than me. I still exercise. I play badminton even today. Morning to evening, I'm running 2 ministries. I'm taking care of Guntur. And in the evening, I also take care of the UWorld. But I still minimum either 20 minutes of gym or 1 hour of badminton I play. And I sleep 6 to 7 hours and I eat good food. So these are the things you cannot say excuse. Even while building in US, I always had time. You just have to make a priority for yourself. Again, whether doing exercise and other stuff, if you just do treadmill or go and walk yourself, it's unlikely to be successful. For anything to be successful, you need a team, make friends. So for example, in Dallas where I was there, badminton, nobody was playing. I created a team of 25 people. They all became addicted. Now even then they are playing now. So it is how you call 5, 6 people, you train them, you work with them, you build your own community there. And I have a team in Delhi now. We are playing badminton. We have a good team. Whenever I go to Hyderabad, I have a team. So again, if you take the leadership, you can, because what happens is when you have a team, one day you don't feel like going. Then 4 other people are texting you, come, where are you? Then automatically when you are in the borderline time, they will push you to get to the exercise. So building these teams, these are the practical aspects. I wish somebody told me all this stuff when I was in medical school. That's why, when I asked Sundaracharya Garu to talk about what it is, they gave a whole different story. But I made time to give you all this stuff. So if at least few of you, get this one, and I think it would be highly valuable. And then the last couple things is for successful moral responsibility, right? Everybody talks about it, what moral responsibility is, right? Again, this is something fundamental. This is something nobody can see, but it's visible to every human being. For example, when you go to the practice, what I mean, an honest person, if you are an honest person, how you earn the trust is simple. When you go to the clinic, if you want to display your trust, put the test cost in your own clinic, transparency in billing. And when you talk to the prognosis or diagnosis, be honest with them. It's difficult, but that is the art of the, first time after my medical graduation, I have to give death diagnosis. It's very uncomfortable first time. But again, there is a structured process. Now with the ChatGPT and everything is easy. How to break the bad news. There is a protocol. You learn, there will become a habit. So honest prognosis. And then admitting mistakes to everybody. If you have done a mistake, whether it is your staff, you can say sorry. You can tell to your patients. You can tell to your colleagues, because misunderstandings happen. When you know that you have done a mistake, pick up the phone and you just say sorry. That will relieve your entire burden forever, and it builds trust. And third, you have to avoid conflicts of interest. Conflict of interest sometimes feels like, a subtle gray area. So what does that mean? For example, I'll give you my own example. In my own ministry, because I have built this educational pedagogy in medicine. So some of my ministry colleagues asked me, why can't you build the same thing for the entire India and government will fund you? I said, even if I have the noble intentions, there is a conflict of interest, so I cannot take it. So these are the things you have to be clearly mindful. Anything that clouds your decision making, you must avoid those conflicts of interest. And then staying within your competency. Staying within your competency means people expect that you have a solution for every medical condition, and that doctor means know everything. If I am a neurologist and if there is something about cardiology, it is okay to say this is beyond my expertise, and it is a sign of strength and not a weakness. You should admit. When you admit those things, it elevates your respect among your people. So this is how you will continuously, if you do these things repeatedly over a period of time, people will start understanding what kind of a person you are. And that is when you can actually do a lot of great things. People will genuinely respect you. They will do what you want to do. And finally, in closing, at the end, everybody, regardless, have to give it back, right? You are not going to take anything from this world, whether you, me, all that stuff. And for that, I have to congratulate the Guntur World Gymkhana Association. But probably this is the, I would say, not only in Andhra, probably in entire India, this is probably the only medical college where previous students came, built this beautiful auditorium that you are sitting today, and maternity child hospital, 100 crores that they have built. And under, again, when you have good leaders like Sundaracharya, I must really congratulate both Ramana Garu and Sundaracharya Garu. You yourself might have seen in the last 1.5 years how this campus has transformed. He brought 12 crores. It's again reaching out, people encouraging them, being involved. So that kind of giving it back will truly, helps to so many people like you. And don't forget that. And it's also giving is also infectious. This passion is contagious. And once it becomes a habit, you yourself will do that. So with that, finally, 10 principles. Be kind, invest in your team, go deep and become an expert in some area, earn money meaningfully, master your finances, move your body every day, give back relentlessly, protect your relationships, and always remember why you started this journey. Because there will be difficulties, always never forget, because that passion, the idea, the fact that why you wanted to become a doctor should always be remembered, so that you can continue to pursue your dreams. So having said that, thank you once again, and I wish you good luck. I'm always available if any of you want any advice from me. Thank you for inviting me today. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir.